let's talk about Manipur.
Yes.
The Supreme Court summoned the DGP yesterday, and it said no law and order left in Manipur. Hello, mister. The government status report says 6,523 FIRs filed, 11 on violence against women and children. So just 11. And the Supreme Court has also said, what were you doing? Why only 7 arrests in 6,500 plus FIRs?
And some of the statements are so hard-hitting. The Hindu has put out those statements. Bench flags Tardy police probe. Late registration of FIRs and recording of witness statements. Directs Manipur DG to be present on August 7th. So I'll just read one of those examples. The court said that on prima facie analysis, the police investigation was tardy. There was considerable lapse of time between the incidents and the registrations of FIRs, recording of witness statements. Arrests were few and far between, it noted. So it's a rap on the Manipur police. It's a wrap on the Manipur police, and now the DGP would be asked, has been asked to be present on August 7th. So Manipur status report on FIR showed that there is no law and order, is what the SC has said. And of course, the SC has also said that the constitutional machinery has failed between May and July.
D.Y. Chandrachud, the Chief Justice of India, he's categorically put it out there. State police is incapable of investigating. Yesterday it was a question, but yesterday when the Supreme Court must have gotten together, convened for this particular hearing, they said that, right here on the front page, it says 6,532 FIRs, 6,532 FIRs, but only 7 arrests. The SC summons Manipur DGP on August 7th. Doesn't allow CBI to record assault victims' statements. The Supreme Court has not allowed the Central Bureau of Investigation to record assault victims' statements. Lethargic probe, cops have lost control. Investigation is so lethargic, FIRs lodged after 2 months, arrests not made, police are incapable of investigation, they have lost control. There is absolutely no law and order. Above a picture of firefighters trying to douse a huge and heavy flame. Firefighters in action after houses of the Kukizo community were allegedly set on fire by miscreants in Imphal on Tuesday. A ground report of the same you can catch up on our YouTube stream page. We also got an exclusive ground report from this particular Zomi area where the fire erupted. Now the top court asks police to segregate the FIRs, and out of those, in that segregation, 11 are assaults against
that's what I
women
said. 11
children.
FIRs are assaults.
Only 11.
11.
After 6,000, from 6,500 FIRs.
So that itself has led the court to think as to what is happening. But also one important thing, most of the unclaimed bodies in Manipur are of infiltrators. This is what the government has told the court. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, appearing for both the Union and Manipur governments on Tuesday, told the Supreme Court that most of the unclaimed bodies are of infiltrators. His remark came towards the end of the half-day-long hearing on the violence in Manipur before the bench of Chief Justice CJI D.Y. Chandrachud. One of the parties had cited communication among the higher police authorities in the state about influx of infiltrators from Myanmar, and that many of them are now untraceable. So the Chief Justice, meanwhile, has said that ensure justice at any cost. But at the end of it, the people who were raped and murdered were our people, right, is what the Chief Minister has asked. Therefore, we have to ensure that justice is done. That is all the Chief Justice laid down. The court's stand.
On the front page of the Times of India, it says, the Supreme Court is quoted on the front page. It says, constitutional machinery broke down in Manipur from May to July.
That's what I was trying to say.
Where will people go for protection? Is a question that the Chief Justice of India is asking. Do you have an answer for that question? Would you like to give that give that question answer? Where does somebody in Manipur who's actually truly helpless is neutral? And we were bringing out those stories of positivity, of light.
When we talk about Manipur, the biggest problem is we try to put it into a dichotomy, saying that it is between the tribals and the non-tribals, between the Meithis and the Kukis. But there are family relations. There are people who have married between. There are families, there are mixed families out over there, and it's so traumatizing for them because they are caught between this ethnic violence in a way that there is no escape, and they're completely trapped in it. So what what about those people? And also, Kabir, one small, this thing has come about bunkers. Despite Manipur government's claims, bunkers remain functional in hills and valleys. Notwithstanding the state government's claims of demolished bunkers,
Right.
villagers
Last time
both
we checked,
Methi and Kuki areas say they are using makeshift bunkers to defend themselves.
last time we checked, the bunkers were the ones that were destroyed, right?
That
That's
is what
the
they
report-
claimed.
that's
That
the
is what
report
they were
that came out.
claiming. But they say that the villagers from both the sides are claiming that they're keeping the bunkers intact.
I'll just read a little quote from what the Supreme Court said, because I mean Manipur is no news for anybody anymore. We're continuing, bringing you all these developments, but just hear me out on this one, Varghese, you too. Assuming that the ground situation was such to prevent police from taking action against the accused, does it not point to the fact that there is a complete breakdown of law and order machinery in the state? One thing which is obvious and clear from the record, for a period of more than 2 months, from the 4th of May till the 27th of July, the police were not in charge. Either they were incapable of doing it or they were unwilling to do it. Both have been, alleged by people on the ground, that in several cases the police was unwilling, and in several cases the police was just simply not capable. I mean, we know what happened in that May 4th video, how the police was pretty much gave the people away. Can the state police investigate 6,000 odd cases? Can it?
Well, it depends upon
The state
how
police are incapable of investigating the cases. It's so obvious that they lost control over the situation. What next for Manipur, Varghese? We're sitting on more than 90 days now.
See, from here we've been, the more we read about Manipur, the more information that comes in from the studio's point of view, and we sit and discuss about it. I think from here we are trying to say, let us bring them into the peace panel, but the situation is very complex. It's going to be so challenging to get some kind of peace. The bunkers are still there, which means the physical boundaries are still there. The distrust is still there. It's going to be a humongous task to get them. What you can do at the end of the day is to actually restore law and order, and probably that is what the court is looking at as well, trying to restore as much as possible the law and order in the state, so that then there could be some kind of an attempt for peace to that extent. Because once you have law and order in place, there is some kind of restoration of confidence in some of the constitutional mechanisms, then we can go ahead for the peace talks.
CBI to probe 11 cases of sexual assault, crimes against women and kids. So 11 of those cases have now gone to the CBI. It's going to probe 11 cases of sexual assault, crimes against women and kids. For 2 months, Manipur cops were not in charge, as the Supreme Court slams lethargy in filing these Manipur FIRs and summons the DJP. The DGP is going to be in front of the Supreme Court on the 7th of August. You know what? We'll have to wait and find out as to what really happens on the ground. I'm just glad that the Supreme Court has now intervened. We needed a top apex body to intervene in this particular situation, because we were in that direct limbo about who's going to do what, and this constant blame game, politics happening in the parliament on Manipur.
In the background.
In the background, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, Prahlad Joshi, he's come out with a statement. He's saying the opposition just is not letting us talk about Manipur. When we want to talk about Manipur, they're bringing in a separate a caveat to it, that no, we want the Prime Minister to come in and speak on it first, Rule 176 versus 267. All of that is already there. But needless to say, both parties over here politicizing the event.